We are live. Let's see if I remember how to do this. It's been so long. Hey guys, RT Bear here, Hack Shack Studios, the new Hack Shack Studios. Actually, I am in Texas, and this is my new studio digs here. You can see a little bit behind me, still moving in, still getting things situated. It's been a week. We've been here a week, and we spent 4 days in travel from California to Texas. So it's been a little bit of an adventure for my wife, Pamela, and myself. So I hope I got all this working right. I got my microphone over here. I got my camera on, so it looks like everything's a go. Wow, I got people in the chat, so it looks like I did something right. So let me see. Can you guys hear me good? I'm doing something slightly different. I don't have the mic on a boom. I'm going like old broadcast style. I got let me see if I can show you. I got my mic like this. So where is it? There it is. Yeah. So I got a little bit of a different setup. I'm trying to get like the setup I had in the California studio was all kind of haphazard. It was just kind of put together. There was no plan. So the studio with all the computer and everything, we are trying, well, I'm trying to make it a little bit more, is it ergonomic, where I can kind of get things and there's not wires everywhere and all that other good stuff. And we just got our internet hookup today. So that's why I'm able to do a show. So this morning we got the internet. It's a fiber optic. So supposedly it's the best of the best. And so we had a guy dig the trench yesterday. He hit a water main, which was fun. So we didn't have clean water yesterday, thanks to this guy. It was so funny. So I'm watching these guys, right? I'm trying to eat breakfast, and I'm watching them, and they got these snow shovels, like the flat shovels, and they're just whack, 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 digging the trench. And they're in the front where all the sprinkler systems and all the the watering systems and things are. So I told the guy, I said you shouldn't be hitting the ground like that. There's pipes all over the place. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Wham! Right after I said that, boom! He not only hit like he didn't hit a sprinkler. He hit the main to the house. And I didn't know, like, I always think that main like water pipes are like significant, like they're steel or metal or some copper or something like that. And I always think that they're big, like, like significant in size, but this was like a 1-inch PVC pipe. And I didn't know like water mains to the house. I know water mains for irrigation are 1-inch pipes, but I didn't know that they were 1-inch pipes going into the house. So I just thought it was a sprinkler system. So they fixed it. So I didn't have them bleed the system or anything like that because I figured it was all outside. And so then my wife was taking a shower while that was going on. She goes, the power or the water dipped. It slowed down. And she goes, what happened? And I go, it was the sprinkler system. And then I thought, the sprinkler system has nothing to do with the house, the water in the house. So it shouldn't have that much to do with it. And so then I had my first warning, and then we got this downstairs in the master. We got this like bathtub jacuzzi thing, and I wanted to break it in last night. So I was like, all right, man, I'm going to fire this sucker up. So I go to run the water, and it's just pouring out mud and crap. And I was like, you sons of bitches, man, you hit a water main, you butt heads. And so when they were putting in the actual the cable into the house, the fiber optic into the house, they fixed and bled the system outside so that we wouldn't have mud coming through our pipes. So it's been quite an adventure. So we have Jams Creates. How are you, brother? Death Curse, welcome back. Thank you. Nice hat. Yeah, I'm going through all my archive stuff, and this is kind of worn though. I think moths were in the box, so it's kind of it's a little, you can kind of see it. I guess it's on this side. It's kind of ratty. Oh, wait, I know I have to do something. Hold on. I didn't set my camera. It's bouncing around. Hold on for a sec. Yeah, I forgot how to do a lot of this stuff. Hold on. That's not it. Okay. There we go. Check, check, apply. Okay. Boom. So now my camera shouldn't bounce. Yeah, it's not bouncing now. Good, good, good. All right. Yeah. So this is my Extreme Studios hat. I have I don't know if you can see it, my Extreme Studios jersey. This thing's like an extra, extra large, so it's really big on me. And it's got the Extreme Studios logo on the back. And yeah, like I said, this thing's a monster. I don't know why I got an extra, extra large, but it's keeping me warm and it's comfortable, so that's all I care about. And yeah, so this is going to get all packed up after today's show. So I'm kind of thinking, should I still pack this? It's holy. I got a holy hat, and yeah, so all kinds of cool stuff in the T-Bear archives. I'm going through. It's taken me a long time, but let me get to these. We got Todd's Truth, Hail Art. We got Earth Mind, Hail Art. Thank you guys. Oh man, too generous. You are too generous. Thank you so much, Gaming or What, for the $5. Welcome back from the dead. You know what? Yesterday I was feeling like it. I was like, I don't have a cell phone, so I never leave the house, so I don't need one. And we've been 4 days on the road. So from California to Texas, drove through Arizona, New Mexico, and then Texas. And so that was all blackout. So I didn't have any real input. My wife has her cell phone, so she's been able to keep up with friends and handle some of the business aspects on her phone. But I've been basically radio silence for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks now. So this is this is me coming back from the dead. So I do feel that way, Gaming or What. So howdy Tex. Yeah, that's, oh my gosh, it's already, it's the way of life already is better. We've met 3 families since we've been here, and they all made the effort. One of them actually, we met them as we were walking around. There's a bunch of paths and stuff like that through the forest and stuff around the woodlands. So we were walking around, and we met Bob. And so we got to talking, and then Bob said his daughters are artists and musicians. And so then we told him where we live. And then, like later in the evening, he brought his family by, and we hung out for a few hours. He welcomed us to the neighborhood and gave us his contact info and asked us if there's anything we needed. Turns out one of his daughters is an aspiring comic book artist. So I think she said she did a few shows, and one here, I guess in Houston, is it Comics Palooza or something like that? She said she had a table and that she sold her comic book. She's part of a group, and they do anthology comics. So so that was really cool. So it's a small world, and there's a lot of comic book fans and people doing comic book art all over the place. So it's been great. It's been really great. Even though the travel, like it's pretty nerve-wracking. And I don't trust Google Maps or whatever that crap is. So I try to chart everything with with tangible maps and know where I'm going ahead of time, because that woman, she'll send you all over town. So I like to have a place to go, and I'm glad I did, because a few times Google didn't, they weren't on the up and up, man. So the only way we found our route is by me doing the old charting the maps and plotting the course kind of thing. So yeah, everything went well. Thanks, Robert Romano. Sounds good. Yes. Let's see what Gaming or What. How can I get the RT Bear to follow me on Twitter? I'll write it down and I'll follow you. Right now, I got all my artwork set, all my studio stuff set up here now. I got my drawers here. I might do a half-ass, have the camera spin around the room. The light is coming through the windows right now, so I'm not sure how well it will do. So yeah, let me write this down, and I'll give you a following. Are you gaming or what on your Twitter? Everybody has different handles, so it's hard sometimes to figure out who's who. Yeah, so Candace, we got Candace B, the cat lady. Art, oh, how I've missed you. You're looking happy and well. Yeah, I'm usually a pretty upbeat guy, but even more so, my wife is she's smiling all the time. She's really, really happy. I mean, we're in our 60s, and so this is a big thing. I don't think many people as old as we are actually move 4 states over and start a life all over again. And that's what it feels like. It really does. We were talking about when we moved into the California house 28 years ago or whatever it's been, how it seemed easy. And it wasn't just because we were younger. We didn't have anything. So when we moved in, we were accumulating to fill the house. This time we had 28 years worth of house that we were moving to Texas. So, you don't think about this stuff until you actually get into it. And then I was like, holy crap, this is way different. This is way more work, because we only had a few things in our townhome that we moved to, our house in California. So we had a beach townhouse in Redondo. So we moved from there into the hills of Corona. And so we didn't have anything. I think Pamela commented, we just had one of those U-Haul rental trucks when we moved originally to the California house. And so then, yeah, we just kind of built up over the years. And this time we had a North America, like, semi truck. We had half of the load, the payload. Half of it was us, and then the other half was another family. And I had no idea how much stuff we had. And also, just why I didn't get anything done prior to the move is I had no idea how much work it was to move a house and move all your belongings, especially like us, because we're book people. So Pamela has her whole book collection. Like in the Corona house, my dad built her shelves, so she had a library in one of the retreats, in the retreat off the master. And so it was wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. And so she had all her books in there. So not only does that weigh quite a bit, but it was a lot. And then I have, a whole career, 35 years with the books that I've worked on. So usually you have a stack of comps like this. So maybe like 5 to 8 or 5 to 10 books I usually keep. I'm trying to narrow it down to like maybe 2 to 5 now. So I am getting rid of some of the books, like old archival books, just because it doesn't make sense to keep that many, just so I have a record of doing stuff. And so moving all that, like packing it and moving it, it was crazy. But with this house, what's cool about this house is pretty much the whole upstairs, except for the bedroom that's open, that door, that's a guest room. And that's where we're sleeping now, because we don't have a master, our master bedroom isn't set up yet. We don't have a bed or anything. So it's really just stockpiled with boxes and stuff right now. And so there's room here. There's there's 2 bathrooms. There's one off here. There's one here. There's a bed, another room off here, and then there's a room over here. And each one has a bathroom. So there's two bathrooms up here. And so the one straight ahead, you can kind of see it. That's going to be the studio bathroom. So, it'll probably get inky and dirty, and, because I'll be washing out brushes and things there. But the room right next to it is going to be the fulfillment center. So we're going to have shelves all the way around, and then there's going to be little workstations on each one of the walls. And then the center We're getting like a tool chest, like a Craftsman tool. I think it's called Husky workbench. And so it was kind of like a workbench cabinet. So it's on wheels. So we're thinking putting that in the center. So then Pamela or myself can pull objects from around the room. So like, here's all the stretch goal stuff. Here's the book. Here's the plastic bags. Here's the backing boards, like all throughout the room. And then we can bring them over to the center and assemble them on that island or that tabletop, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big workspace. And so then we got a little cubby, and it's got a table and some bookshelves. And so we're going to put the printer in there. We got a cordless printer. And so we'll be able to print the orders up there. She'll be able to make them into the labels. And so we should be able to assemble everything in that room, for the future campaigns. So Indiegogo campaigns, things like that. I always assume everybody that listens to my show already knows everything, but I'm a comic book artist, 35 years in the business. Work for, mainly Marvel, DC, Image Comics. And so now I'm doing independent work. So I have Black and White and Chrono Mechanics, which are my primary indie books. I have some other ideas, but I think I'm going to stay with those for a while. There's a lot of stories I want to tell with those two IPs. And so that's what I'm doing now. So I'm self-publishing books through Indiegogo and alongside all my brethren, which is Comicsgate, and a lot of you fans and people that are following on these YouTube channels and streams are comics gators as well. So it's pretty amazing, you guys. I'm betting the farm on all this now. Like all my work, all my efforts and everything are all Comicsgate now. So I'm trying to build a successful infrastructure to where Pamela and I aren't running around like chickens with our head cut off every time we run one of these campaigns, because it is a little daunting. But since we've run a few of them in the past, 2 Kickstarters and 3 Indiegogos now, we're kind of getting it down, what we need, what we don't, and just that type of thing. So it's coming along pretty good. And then the room over here, it's going to be awesome. This is going to be the T-Bear Vault. So I'm also going to get some of those Husky work stations, or I guess work chests, tool chests. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they all have like tabletops on them too. But the drawers will handle 11 by 17 artwork. They'll handle original comic book pages. I have 35 years worth of artwork, you guys. I have stacks of artwork like this. I'm not kidding, of pages. So these drawers are perfect for artwork. So now also I'm gonna start working a little bit more on getting the Art by T-Bear site going. That's my original artwork site and my prints. There's a link in the description for that if you want to buy some original artwork or some art prints. It's all going to go in there. So then also I'm going to have one of the things I couldn't do is I have an art collection. I have movie memorabilia, paraphernalia. I have animation cells. I have like all kinds of cool stuff, but the walls are always limited in the studio. So I'll be able to put a lot of my collection stuff on display in that room. So I'm so looking forward to it. Oh, and this room over here, this is going to be the crazy room. It's going to be the music room. So I got my drums in there now, and it's all set up for music. I'm going to pad the walls a little bit so I don't drive the neighbors too crazy. But I'm going to start playing every day again, play my drums. I used to do it every day for about 20 minutes, a half hour. I fooled myself, like, keep my chops up. I wanted to keep my chops up, thinking like, oh, someday I'm going to be in a band again or some crazy notions, nonsense like that. But I just want to play again. I just want to have some fun. So I'm going to have that set up in there. So it should be a blast. Really, really looking forward to everything. So I'm going to go back to the chat a little bit. Death Cure, what is it? Curse. Oh, wow. LOL, the one thing they aren't supposed to do. Not sure I'm not paying too much attention to the probably when they lay in the cable. Yeah, they're not supposed to like crack a pipe. That's really like if I knew this, I knew not to dig like this in the yard. How do these people not know this? It's not my job. It's funny because also just to harken back. Okay, so that pipe, right? I told the guy just before he cracked the pipe, the main pipe to the house. I told him to be careful, right? Just before. Okay, I'm psychic. I know things just before they happen. Also, we have 2 refrigerators now, and they're both freaking massive refrigerators, right? And so Pamela didn't like the one that came with the house. So she wanted to use what does she call it? God's refrigerator. She'll tell the story at some point. So she really likes this refrigerator. And so the thing is, it's slightly bigger than the other one. It didn't fit. It didn't fit going around the island this way, and it didn't fit going around the island this way. And there's a third way it definitely didn't fit. And so I told the guy, like the movers, I said, you're not going to be able to do this. And of course, when they do that, when you say that, they double down on it. It's like, oh yeah, we've been doing this for years, whatever. And so they're lining the countertops with cardboard. I'm not kidding. They're lining the sides with cardboard in case the refrigerator starts scraping the sides. That's how much room there wasn't. So I said, this is crazy. It's just not going to happen. And then I said, the only way you're going to get that refrigerator over there is to pick it up, right? I said that. I said, the only way you're going to be able to get this refrigerator over there is to pick it up. And so then the lead guy's like, because he's also the driver, so he knew me from California, so he knows I'm a little bit of a smart ass. So he tells his workers, he's like, don't listen to that guy. He's a little bit of a smart ass. He's just joking around. And I just like, am I? Am I really? And so smash cut, 4 guys are lifting a refrigerator over the center island in the kitchen. It was crazy ass shit. And then on top of that, like whenever anybody does like spectacular stuff like this, you're supposed to tip them. So then now that they lifted the thing over, then I tipped each one of those guys $50. Like there was 4 of them. I was actually glad it made Pamela happy to get that refrigerator over there. So, it was all good, but I just think it's so funny. Like, sometimes I feel like I know these guys' jobs better than they know how to do them. It's funny. Oh man, Skits. Hey, what's up, brother? What's up? I know I talked to Michael a lot when we were thinking of places to move. And so he and his wife own a farm, and man, it was so tempting. It was so tempting to move there, but I think you said it snows. I don't want to live anywhere where it snows. So Norm says you're free. Yeah. Grats on the escape, Art. Enjoy life under what is that? Saner circumstances. Yeah, the government here is a little bit more normal. We don't miss it at all. Pam and I were talking the other night. We're just like, do you miss California? And we're both like, no. The only thing we miss is our daughter. She stayed there. So she's trying to make a life for herself in California. So she's there right now, trying to find a place and some security. So I wish her well. I wish she'd come to Texas. I think her money would go a lot further here and she'd have a better way of life. But, she wants to stay where she's at. I guess the heart wants what the heart wants, right? You can't argue with it too much, even though we still do. We're her parents. So Arnold S., freedom. Yes, my wife and I definitely feel freedom right now. And I thought we would miss the house. I thought we'd miss California. I don't even really have moments of time where I think like, oh my gosh, if I was just back in California or whatever. I might feel differently when the humidity hits in the summer, which I heard, is pretty harsh, but we got a pretty good air conditioning system in this house. Part of it's brand new, which is awesome. So that's really good to have. Oh man, my pontificator brother, albino Thunderbuns. I always feel like I don't want to call you Joe because I don't want to out you, but I think you've been outed already, my friend. Welcome back. Yes, Tex, that's me, Tex T Bear. Eric, what's up? Hello, Art. How's the new digs? Amazing, just amazing. There's things like anytime you move to a house, you want to make them your own. So there's stuff we want to do. Like there's this railing right here for the stairs, upstairs, downstairs. My wife really wants to like upgrade it to what do they call it? Is it wrought iron, I guess, where you have like the steel and stuff like that. It looks a little bit more contemporary, but not in a modern way, just less old school, and change out the handrail and things like that. So we'll probably do that. I'm trying to figure out what should I use as a backdrop in the room too. So right now this is just kind of maybe set up for now. I'm not sure. Hulk smash. Hey, T Bear is back. I'm back for the attack. Thanks again, Joe, for the $2. There she is.
Oh,
the lady of the hour. Yeah, she snuck out. I just told them that you were thinking of changing out these handrails.
Oh yeah, to the metal.
Yeah, is it wrought iron?
Wrought iron.
Yeah. I don't know, but a lot of the houses we were looking at had upgraded stuff like that, so it was pretty awesome. Shout out to the Woodlands. Yes, indeedy do. I was talking about your new fulfillment center.
Ah, I heard you talking about my refrigerator.
That was crazy, right? I was 100% on with the story, right? Where I said the only way you're going to get that refrigerator over there is to lift it up, and those guys were laughing at me.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, don't listen to the old man."
Yeah, he knows nothing. Yeah, just like I told them just before that guy smashed the water main. I was like, you might want to be careful. His pipe's all okay. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It was like. What is his name from Beverly Hillbillies? Clampett? Jed. It was like Jed, like, that was our like shooting up the crude or whatever. Yeah. Too bad it wasn't oil, man, because Texas is rich with oil.
Oh yeah.
We could have paid for the Woodlands here.
It was fun.
Yeah, do you have a story of our trip over? Anything interesting?
I think the strangest thing for me was the drive. There were times that, after hours and hours and hours, you start to hallucinate. You're just.
There were sounds. Yeah, there were sounds, and she's like, we had to keep each other sane, basically. It's kind of like it's the weird adage. Like I think that's where like truckers see ghosts and stuff like that, like Large Marge, from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And so, yeah, you kept hearing a sound and you're like, don't you hear that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But you were like, it was just like, you couldn't figure out what it was.
Right. It took us a long time.
And then it's like we just had the tires replaced, and a lot of the tires or the streets in California are all asphalt. But a lot of the roads we were going over were concrete. They're concrete roads. And so one of the things the tires do is they whistle. It sounds like a freaking 747 jet engine, right? It's like,
yeah, it was just straight.
Like that. Like it's just this like hum, and it was constant, but it would speed up and slow down. So we were thinking like it's air is hitting something and making this sound, like something broke free from the car or whatever. And so then I was finally like, I think it's the tires. And then when we came to our senses later after the night, of hallucinations, we figured it out. And then the other one was where I was convinced somebody was stalking us, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Just the one light back there.
Yeah, it was like that movie or that TV movie Duel. I think it was Steven Spielberg's first movie where the one driver was convinced like this trucker was just stalking him or following him. I forget how it ends, but anyways, so I'm channeling this movie, and I'm like, everywhere I move, this car is following. And so, God, what was it? It had something to do with the lights on the horizon and a reflection from the car itself. So, because I was like, it looks like a truck, but it only has one headlight, right? That's what I kept saying.
And it was darker than pitch, so it was weird.
Yeah, they don't light those roads, those interstates. So we took the Interstate 10, right, to the 290.
Oh yeah,
the 290. Yeah. And so it was kind of crazy driving at night. So we didn't drive through the night, but some nights we would drive till like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just after 6 hours or so, just stopping for gas or to stretch your legs, it's weird, especially at night.
Oh, danger. Vanessa says Mama T-Bear is not a cross-country warrior.
No way.
She kind of was for 4 days, though. And I'll tell you one thing. When we're driving through New Mexico, just gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness. The rocks were unbelievable.
Yeah, it's weird because we have, like in California, we had like the high desert, they call it. And I know there's people that think it's gorgeous, like Joshua trees and stuff like that. But like New Mexico, it was desert terrain, but there were the Purple Mountains majesty all around like the horizon. You could see as far as the eye could see. Like there was nothing in your way. Like you could literally see to the edge of the earth pretty much. And yeah, it was breathtaking.
Just those huge boulder formations. Awesome. They were gorgeous.
Yeah, and then we were really disappointed. If anybody lives in El Paso, I apologize going into this, but we drove from like New Mexico, and so we're thinking, well, at the very least, when we drive into Texas, it's going to look like New Mexico because the climate and the terrain shouldn't change that much. And then when we got into El Paso, we were like, oh my gosh, is this Texas? Like we were kind of.
Were we still on the 10?
I think
but it was that straight freeway that just goes through like the industrial part.
Yeah, I don't know if all El Paso is this way, but it looked like they were trying to, like the overpasses and the freeway sides and stuff like that. They had like some cool rock formations and like patterns and bright colors they were painting the overpasses with and stuff. So it looked like they were trying to make it festive, but the air quality, like from New Mexico over, like the blue sky was gone. Like it really looked industrial. So I don't really know what El Paso's like, but when we got in there, I was a little saddened. Oh, Johnny remembers Duel with Dennis Weaver. Classic, yeah. But yeah. So I hit a deer on the 10 freeway.
Oh my golly!
We saw a bunch of deer and stuff like that along the road.
Just dead, like it broke my heart.
Yeah, it broke her heart. But all I could think is if you hit a deer going 65, 70 miles an hour, you're going to destroy your car. So I hope everything worked out, Andino, because you can just devastate your car. I mean, you could actually just lose control and
at night
crash.
when we saw the majority of them, you can't see them. They jump in front of you.
Yeah, you don't see until the headlights hit. Yeah, in the daytime you have more of a chance. But you have hours to talk. So we're like, what the hell gets into these animals, right? Okay, I know that they don't understand cars. They don't understand freeways. They don't understand any of those things, right? I understand that. But do they not understand something moving at them? Like, do they not register a threat? Like, if another animal ran at them, wouldn't they just like back off or run the other way? Like, why would you run at a vehicle? It's crazy. Like, I don't know what the psychology or what animals think, because I would think like they would just not do it because they would register a car as a threat or a truck as a threat. So they just wouldn't be running into it, because most of the time they're running into it. Like, we saw actually remember in California, I saw that car hit the deer, and the deer ran out. The car didn't hit the deer. The deer ran out in front of the car.
That was at our old house.
Yeah, in California. And then I've seen cats and squirrels and different animals, like, and possums. They'll wait for you to get right up on them, and then they'll like run right in front of your vehicle. Like,
we swore we had a suicidal possum one night coming up Green River, because every time I would swerve, it would turn and swerve to
the
try
thing
to
was,
get in front of
yeah,
the
the thing was like coming at the car, like it was running alongside the car, so she's slowing down speed, right? Because she doesn't want to hurt it. So this thing, I don't know what inflated sense of self, right? Thought it was a badass, like a rhino or something, and it comes in, and it's just kind of like
keeps trying to get
it's
in.
like hitting the car, like the tires and stuff. We're like,
we kept saying it was a suicidal possum.
what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, you just think like self-preservation, right? Like, you think like they would have some kind of like inner mechanism, like one thing, like, okay, they know not to eat certain plants because it'll kill them. Okay, they have that, but they don't recognize something coming at them as a threat. I know that if some guy at the mall 10 times bigger than me came running at me, I would sure as hell get out of the way. I know that much about self-preservation. Yeah, these things are nuts. We have Zaid Comics here. Philip, what's up? New house, new year, a new art. Yes, I've been reborn. Hail to you guys. Okay, Leroy says I-70 might be worse than the I-40. I don't know either one of those roads. We weren't on.
No, we were the 10 to the 290 basically the whole way.
Yeah, and then there's a 45 freeway that's also interstate, and that runs north-south. Because I think the 10 runs. The 10 runs west-east. We came west-east. Yeah, so the 45 runs north-south. So those are the main interstates, I think, that run through Texas. And I do believe the 10 will take you coast to coast. It'll take you all the way from West Coast to East Coast.
Did you show them what you got at a truck stop?
No.
Show them.
I'll go get it. Yeah, New Mexico was gorgeous. Yeah, but coming into San Antonio was kind of a bust. Yeah, I couldn't. It was Christmas Day, right? It was Christmas Day, and I just like to do things that I have interesting stories to tell. So this is a replica. This was not used in the movie, but one of my extreme friends, Andy Park, did a lot of design work for Ant-Man, the movie, the Marvel movie. So this was there, and the price was right. And now I have a story that I bought an Ant-Man helmet.
And parts of it
at
move,
a truck.
And the eyes light
Yeah,
up.
I mean, it's all padded up. Not that I'm ever going to put it on, but you never know. So yeah, the sides light up. I think the antenna lights up and stuff like that. I just think this is a cool design. I like helmets and masks and stuff like that.
And the back opens, right?
Yeah, the back opens if you got a big head. So it helps you get it on here. Yeah.
They also had a Captain America shield that he really wanted too, but it was dinged or scratched.
Yeah, there was a little scuff in it. So yeah, Pamela got this for me for Christmas. So it was Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like, we got an interesting story out of it. And who would have thought that at a truck stop there would be a bunch of Marvel
They had the
paraphernalia.
gauntlet of wait, it went right out of my head.
Oh yeah, Thanos' gauntlet.
Thanos, yes.
Yeah.
This big it was huge.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Dillard Draws. Welcome back, Art. Looking healthy, wealthy, and that's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. Don't forget to christen your new mailbox with copies of The Buckler, ending in 10 days. So, yeah, you guys check out The Buckler. It is Dillard's new book, and he's only got 10 hours. So I'm going to look into that. I'm going to write that down too. I've been so behind everything. So I haven't really had time to promote anybody's book or give anybody a shout out. So life does go on. Well, very good, man. I'm sure the book looks great. Thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Yeah. Wow, you guys are very generous. Thank you so much. Mexico is the land of enchantment. It sure as hell. Oh, wait. There's always one in the chat. Enchantment and meth. Well, we moved from, what was it, Riverside or whatever? That's the meth capital of the world, right? What is it?
I know
San Bernardino or whatever.
Riverside is the human trafficking.
Is it really?
Oh, yes. Yeah, Riverside is horrible.
Well, apparently New Mexico is going to rival. Wait, what is this? Hill Art, how's the new place? Great. Thank you, Lord Crackhead. My wife loves it when I read those out loud. Lord Crackhead. UFOs, man. I'm hoping. Yeah, New Mexico. If there was one, you could clearly see it. Oh man, one of the things that was super cool here is when we're driving into Texas, I believe even, was it New Mexico as well? There were firework stands, like in California, especially where we live. They stopped with the firework stands because I guess Californians can't be trusted because they're going to burn down California. So, Big Brother's got to make sure that you can't have any fun in California. So, they did start in New Mexico, right? Or was it just in Texas?
Because we went through, didn't we went through Arizona. I remember a few in Arizona.
Really? Okay. But along the highway, there were firework, like from when I was a kid, like firework stands, like makeshift firework stands.
I like the zombie fireworks.
Yeah, they were like big inflatables and stuff like that. They're along the highway. I almost stopped. I swear, I almost stopped. And now I wish I would have, because I didn't know this that I'm gonna reveal to you guys. So we're driving along, and I'm just thinking, like, what was that scene in Joe Dirt? Like swizzle sticks and bungholes and what were some of those?
Sizzling something.
Yeah, and it's like, and then that one guy
with Kickin' Wing.
Kickin' Wing only sold sparklers and snakes, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't like the other ones because they were unsafe. And but anyways, all I could think of is that, like, because in that movie it was Joe Dirt, right? Yeah. That's what that character was doing. He was selling fireworks off the side of the road. And I'm thinking, this is some kind of Hollywood fabrication. This doesn't really exist. And so as we're driving, we're seeing all of these. And then as we're getting closer, didn't we even see a factory that built fireworks? Yeah. Like it was, I think that was in Texas, like factory of whatever fireworks. And so driving, seeing a lot of these firework. And I'm thinking that maybe they're open 24/7, like people just get fireworks and just, it's birthday time, let's just set off fireworks. Oh, it's your bar mitzvah, let's shoot off some fireworks, right? So then it was New Year's night, right? New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve night. And we're just sitting, and I think we finally get the TV working?
No, we called Amanda.
Oh, we were on the phone with our daughter. Yeah, so we're wishing her Happy New Year. And then
it was also her birthday.
Yeah, her birthday is on New Year's Eve. And so all of a sudden we hear pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, oh man, Texas, they're firing off their guns. That's cool. And then we look out the window here, and the forest is like, it's like that scene in Star Wars where the Ewoks, the fireworks are going off and stuff. Like through the trees, we're seeing fireworks like in the sky and everything. And it was amazing. So I guess what Texans do, I don't know if other parts like New Mexico or Arizona or whatever do this, but they actually just launching off fireworks on New Year's. I thought it was only 4th of July, but in here they do it as well. And we figured that out, or we found that out because we asked a neighbor, right? When the neighbor came over.
I think so.
And it's like, yeah, people go out and shoot off fireworks and their guns and stuff like that. So, so that stuff happens. And it was awesome. It was just sitting here, just watching fireworks and everything. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool New Year's. So I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like we looked for a good time in some of these areas, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah,
it just happened regardless. Yeah, just life. And like I said, for as old as we are, new adventure. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Well, I'm going back down and get something out of God's refrigerator.
That's what you call it, God's refrigerator. Yeah. Any turtles or snakes so far? I think it's too cold for snakes. But I did ask around about turtles. I guess if you have bodies of water, you could have turtles, right?
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of lakes and stuff around here.
I thought turtles were desert creatures.
Tortoise are like salt water, right? They're not lake. I don't think they're fresh water. I don't know. But no snakes. And we were told that in the woodlands, not a lot of snakes, if any. But I mean, we're out in the forest. I would not, take it out of the equation. This is pretty mean, but it's also funny. Deer are the Mike S. Miller of animals.
Oh,
poor Sniffles. Okay, I just have to tell this story. They mean it with all the love in the world because my family, they all know Mike Miller. We've known Mike forever. And so Mike had a meltdown on one of the streams where he had some water flow from his eyes. And so then my daughter affectionately nicknamed him Mike Sniffles Miller. I told Mike this, so it's not hurtful. Mike laughed, and we say it with all the love that we have in our hearts. But so when we see Mike, we call him Mike S. Sniffles Miller. You like Mike, right?
Oh yeah. I think I've only met him a couple of times.
New comic to do, Deer Psychology. Yeah, I think I did say the psychology of deer. Yeah. I don't know what they're thinking. I really don't. Like it doesn't even seem like something you would do if you just had any sense of self-preservation. You don't go run into something that's coming at you or that can smash you. Like I just thought everything knew that. Apparently not. I know that birds and some animals, they can't help it. They're flying so fast and the trajectory and air currents and stuff like that. Like, you'll hit a bird or something like that or a bug. But a deer, that's weird. That is weird. Oh, wait. View of Uranus. She's smiling. The headlights make them freeze in place. It's called spotlighting, and it's illegal if you get caught. Well, we weren't doing it on purpose. So then they kind of, I heard like deer in a headlight. I know that's saying, but they get hit in the daytime too. Like the one that I saw right out in front of my house. That deer ran out in front of his car in the middle of the day.
He was speeding.
He was going a little fast, but that deer still ran out in front of him.
It was one of the old Gran Torinos.
It was a big car.
Destroyed the front of his car.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now too, what was weird is the deer got up and walked away.
It lived, But
that car, it not only limped, but then it went up that hill.
right.
So it was strong enough to get up the hill. I assume that it probably fractured something, but that it would mend in time. But that Gran Torino, like new cars are made. No, it was
when we first moved there.
Because that car,
years ago.
well, that thing hit pretty hard than if it was an old Gran Torino. Because the new ones actually buckle; they're made to kind of crumble.
But that whole right front of
fender,
his car was destroyed.
The headlight and everything, yeah, because it hit right on the corner.
And he stood down there and cussed and jumped up and down, and then took off doing like 80 miles an hour back up the hill.
Some people don't learn. Slacker says, "Welcome home." Look at the image. He's got like what are those sombreros? And he's got the big mustache, the stogie. That's cool. Let's see. Deer caught. Yeah. Deer caught in the headlights. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. Okay. One thing you got to learn, I guess, if you're a local, is you don't say Heb, right? It's HEB.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So hopefully Art went to HEB and got some butterscotch candies.
Oh, I love butterscotch.
Yeah. Well, now we know. Now we have something new to do. Thank you, Leroy. I do appreciate it. And also, if anybody's listening and are the ones that turned us on to the Woodlands,
thank you.
Yeah, it all happened because of you. The only reason we're here is because somebody in the chat. So you guys are very, very kind and insightful. And we were looking all over the place. And then when you guys mentioned several places in Texas, but one of them was the Woodlands, and we looked into that.
So we looked at all of them. And then when we got to the Woodlands, Art loved all the trees, and he just fell in love with it.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. This whole thing just jumped. I'm sorry if I'm not getting these super chats. Hold on. It just jumped.
Wow. So jumped a lot.
Yeah, it did. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so there we go. We're caught up. Humphrey Bear's in the chat. So let's figure this all out. Bear with me, you guys. Oh, Dillard lives in Riverside, California, though. There's Riversides everywhere. Oh man, Pontificator Brethren, Bob, Comic Bob, Comic Book Bob. A lot of people in California do want to burn that place down right now.
oh, that's good.
And then Bob says, "Welcome back. Thank you so much." And yeah, Pamela's taking off, so everybody say bye to Mama Bear.
Drag in the garbage cans.
I brought the one in earlier. So we've been here a week now. I think our first day was trash day. So we're going to celebrate every trash day as our anniversary of moving here. Welcome back. Thank you. Not my monkey, not my circus. Yes, indeed. Well, I really didn't have anything planned, so that's par for the course. But I really did want to come by and say, oh yeah. A friend told us about Buc-ee's, and they brought over. We have some California friends that are partially in California and partially in Texas. So their daughter is in Texas and the family is in California. And so our daughters went to school together. So she actually it was part of the same IB program as Amanda. And now she works at NASA. So she works in Houston. And so they came by, and I guess there's Buc-ee's is famous for their jerky, the beef jerky. So I have some of that downstairs. I should have done this. I have like Texas IP, are they IPs? Different beers. And so I got a sampler, like a 6-pack sampler of different Texas beers. So I'm going to get on that tonight. I got a 12, no, I got a 12 pack of Blue Moon right now that I'm finding, I'm having, a couple beers before bed every night. And I don't know, man. I just want to live. I just want to, I want to eat well. I want to exercise. We got the area here now. I want to relax, all the good stuff. So I think I'm definitely at the place in life that I need to start reaping the rewards of a lifetime of working. So I still want to make great comics for you guys, but I also want to enjoy life a little bit. Slow down, I guess. That's not a 10-gallon hat, pal. Oh my gosh, what is the store? There's a store. Somebody told us about a store that you can get like boots, and you can get your hats, holsters. You can get all kinds of cool stuff. I think it's all handmade too. So our friends that came by, they they shop there, and so when her name's Lee, so when she comes by to Texas to visit her daughter, she stockpiles up Texas stuff, and then she goes back to California, and I think she's trying to convince her husband to move out here because it's fucking awesome. I'm not kidding, man. It's amazing. The sun's going down. Maybe I can show you my view. I'm gonna do like a cool, once I get everything set up, I'm gonna do like a grand tour of the studio and everything. But yeah, I think she's trying to convince her husband, and he works at the Disney park in Anaheim. But from what I hear, the Florida park is like a 2-hour flight. Hell, when I lived in the South Bay in LA, it could take an hour and a half to get to the Disney park. So a 2-hour flight, man, fly in every day, that'd be cool. No, I mean, they would have to move closer if he was going to stay employed, but she wouldn't be that far from Texas. Blow your thumbs off. No, I need them to draw. Yeah. Up, 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 up. Mike cried like a woman on stream. How embarrassing. Well, to be honest, I think Mike was completely stressed out of his mind, and his good buddy Doug TeNapel didn't know when to stop. Like, if anybody remembers that, it was, I don't know. I like Doug. Doug, I still consider a friend. He was always more of an acquaintance, than anything. But man, he really put Mike in a bad spot and kept going with it. And I wasn't on that live stream, but I was in the chat, and I kept telling, like, I was typing in the chat, Doug, stop, back off, because I could see what it was doing to Mike. I think this is how I feel about the human condition, especially guys. So what guys do, not all guys, but cooler guys, men, they poke fun at their fellow man, like other guys, right? They poke fun, and then they find out where all the buttons are, right? They find out, like, if I say this, he reacts this way, blah blah blah. So you know the parameters. And cool people, cool guys, they know where your goat is hid, but they won't exploit it. Like, I think that's a cool person. A cool person is the one that knows if he goes to this point, he's going to break you or hurt you in a way. And so that's when I didn't think that was cool, because I think everybody knew what Doug was doing, but Doug didn't pull back. And so I don't blame Mike. I think Doug either showed bad judgment or just wanted to see Mike break and thought it would be good for YouTube. I didn't like it at all. We want more funny Mike stories. I got a bunch of them, but I don't know how cool it is to tell. Because I want to be that cool guy. Art living it up in Texas, and here I am using a space heater to hasten the defrost. Really, of a steak. Well, at least you're eating steak. Yeah, at least you're eating steak. And just know, like for Mike, we don't have to. Some people are their own worst enemies. I love Mike. I have other friends, and I'm not saying that Mike is self-destructive, but I have a few friends that are self-destructive, but I'm still their friends, you know. I just try not to get into business dealings with them or in any type situation where I'm connected to them in a way that can hurt me. So I can, if I'm detached, I can still stay their friend. You know what I mean? And I can be a good friend, but just don't loan them money. Don't get into business transactions. Don't do certain things, and you'll be fine. You know, just identify it and then move on. Mighty Geek Studios, Art, your next comic should be about a Texas Ranger. I'll tell you, when I was driving over New Mexico and I was seeing just the visuals there, I was getting inspired, but nothing specific. So just the area was so gorgeous, and here's gorgeous too, but in a completely different way. Hillbilly hunting, deer hunting, I approve. Yeah. The stars at night are big and bright. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh, clap, clap, clap in Texas. Yeah, I think Doug is good for Doug. I've met people in my life, and once again, you know, this is just insight on personalities and stuff, and this is not like me casting shade or hate or anything like that. But some people are really good at looking after themselves, and they don't mind breaking eggs along the way. They just don't mind it. Like hanging out with what's his name, the Clerks guy who wrote Clerks, the Kevin Smith. I think for about 8 months or maybe a year, I was working with Kevin Smith and Walter Flanagan on a Batman story. Only half of it came out. I got inventoried in the T-Bear vault. I have 3 issues. I've never before seen Batman comics, which I've said I'm going to show it off on a live stream, or I'm going to sell those pages. I don't care. I'll have to split probably the money with Walter, so I'll send him half, you know, of whatever I sell. But I'm thinking it's never going to see published. It's never going to get published. But one thing I started noticing about Kevin, and then just looking at his career and how he maintains his career, is everything benefits Kevin Smith. It's very Kevin Smith specific. Like it all reflects, it's like it's a brand, and then he just looks after that brand. And that's it. Like anything that gets in the way gets destroyed, gets run down, gets mowed down. And the way he talked to me, I'm not going to get into specifics. I think I've mentioned him a couple times on other live streams, but yeah, he's very Kevin Smith. He just looks after himself. Like some people, like what I try to do is I try to create like mutually beneficial business situations, like win-win type scenarios. But some people aren't like that. They'll burn bridges. They'll use people up, and they'll exploit to get whatever they want. And a lot of times it's very short term, and that's why, just as far as a business way of looking at life, I don't do that, because the comics industry is very small industry. So you might be angry at this guy today, but then down the line you may be his best friend on a a business transaction or a comic book series or something like that down the line. So, I never say never, and I don't try to draw lines like that, because one, I just don't like it personally. I don't like knowing that I have an enemies list and people I have to look out for and stuff like that. But they don't seem to mind. They don't seem to mind making enemies and burning bridges and stuff. And the thing is, it always works. Like, you can make your world work that way. You can. I've seen it. But you have to be on top of your game all the time, because if you're ever reliant on somebody else, their help or their insight or whatever, they're probably not going to help you, unless they think they can get something from you long term down the line, because they're just not going to do it, because you've burned them in the past. So I always like to keep things on a good level as much as I can. The only time it usually doesn't is when the other side doesn't want it. It's not on my side. It's not on my part. Fabi Niciesa, our division wasn't based on anything I said. It's something he said, and that's a legendary tweet. Go look it up. I did a live stream on it too. And Dan Panosian, like, I never put the wall up there. I never made the division. They did. So, things are out of your control sometimes. So let's see what Diller Draw says for $2. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for the super chats. Your generosity is definitely it's good. It's good. I like it. It makes you feel like what you're doing is worthwhile. Deer are always trying to parkour over my park. Is that parkour over my truck? Yeah, they're crazy. Like, they're nuts. Yeah, I know it's legendary, the deer in the headlight thing, but it's just pretty crazy. Oh my gosh, I just saw in the chat. I'm not sure why Mike cried. All I knew is that, like I said, like, in a general way, guys figure out where other guys' buttons are pushed, and the really jerky ones push them. And I think that Mike was already a little bit emotional about, like, the campaign and trying to feed his family and stuff like that. And so then Doug kind of came in and didn't show mercy and was doing, I don't even remember the details of it, but he kept really digging at Mike, and then he broke him. He broke. Everybody has a breaking point. So I never blame anybody, but I do think he was pushed into it. Oh my gosh, where was it? There it is. Artist Chronicles. Hey, my brother. This is Carlo Barberi. Hey, Art, nice to see you online again. And I know that whenever Carlo and I would hang out, it was in Texas. So I think you're in Mexico. So I think you're closer to Texas than you are California. So I don't know. Maybe once COVID lifts, we can start hanging out again, because I think we're closer, actually. Because I've already been asked. There's a couple comic book shops in Texas, and some smaller shows, and they've already been in contact with me about doing some live signings and stuff like that. So you never know. So it's good to see you here, Carlo. And thanks again, man. That Caravaggio cover was brilliant. If you guys don't know, I did a book called Chrono Mechanics, and I have 4 celebrity comic book artists that did covers. And Carlo was one of them. And he was nice enough to let me ink him. But I didn't ink him in, like, the DC Marvel style. I inked him kind of in Chrono Mechanics, that style, over his pencils. And I thought it looked great. I thought it came out great. We got a good colorist on it too. Paria Parai hooked us up with the coloring. So it looked great. There is a sushi area close, if that's what you're asking. Robert E. Howard, one of my favorite writers when I was younger. Yeah, I really dug that stuff. Ooh, time traveling Texas Ranger from space. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see what Southern Comic Geek has to say. RT Bear, I love your work on Cable and X-Men back in the day. What projects are you working on now? I'm glad you asked, my friend. Let's see if I can do this real quick. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm clicking all the right buttons, hopefully. Yeah, this is still we're in demand. This is still up and running. I think we made a couple sales over Christmas. So thank you guys for backing this. This is Chrono Mechanics. This is the book that Carlo did a variant cover for, which I will show you really quick. So this is what I'm working on now, my friend. So this is a start off as a 48-page book, is now a 60-page book. It is done. So if you order today, it will ship within a week or so. I know I'm obligating my wife, and we're still kind of moving in, but I think probably 2 weeks is a safe time for ETA for the book to arrive. So yeah, we ran this a couple months back. We're at 50,456. That's the dollar amount, and 719 backers. So a lot of fun. They are time traveling repairmen, basically. So it is a PG-13 style book. So there's some edgy stuff for kids, but to be honest, I think most of the edgier aspects will go right over their head. So I don't think they'll get it. Kind of Looney Tunes, Tex Avery kind of, in a Tex Avery sort of way, where there's sexual innuendo and other references that the kids aren't going to quite get. But it's a fun action adventure sci-fi comedy story about 4 time traveling repairmen who work for Chrono Incorporated, and we focus on Team 9.2 of Sector 7. They are the best of the best, and so they lost a team member, and they are replacing that team member with this guy in the middle. His name is Doug, or the D, and he's a 70s rock star. And so he basically has no work ethic, and that gets thrown into a working class scenario. And so, like he says, he's not a working class bozo. So he doesn't even have very much respect for anybody who turns a wrench or makes a living with their hands. And so we will see in the 60-page adventure whether he steps up or not to become the 4th member of Team 9.2 of Sector 7. So the link is in the description, you guys. Come by, check it out. There's some pages here to preview. So I think the book looks gorgeous. It's way outside the box for me stylistically. I've never drawn like this before in a cartoony style. I look at it as it's Hanna-Barbera meets Mobius. So the French artist Mobius. So it's got kind of a European ink style over like a Hanna-Barbera style guide, I guess, style like animation style. But it's very much my own. I don't think you're going to see anything like this from Hanna-Barbera or from Disney for that matter. So this is the introduction to the 3 principal characters and Doug's reaction to them. And so then we get to see some of the world and how time is running amok, as we say. So Indians in the middle of like a primeval forest. We have like a 50s cafe in the middle of a primeval landscape. We also have, like, just outside of this Indian village is a futuristic town or city, I should say. So yeah, then we have the work in progress sketchbook, which is killer. That will also ship right now. We have these all printed up. So if you order the sketchbook, you'll get that ASAP. So these are some of the pages. And this, my friends, are the variant covers. So this is Oot. He is one of the Chrono Mechanics. And you'll realize that they start off as a core, their core entity. And then when they put on their work suits, they power up into a Chrono Mechanic. So similar to Shazam. So how Shazam says, Billy Batson says Shazam and then turns into what used to be known as Captain Marvel, but that is now Shazam. So it's kind of a dual identity situation. So then here is Doug, the 70s rock star. Oh, I have to tell you, this was drawn by Sean Cheeks Galloway, a brilliant animator, designer, video games, animation, all kinds of stuff this guy is known for. And then we have Doug, which is the 70s rock star. This was done by Tom Bancroft, who is a Disney animator. His best known character is Mushu for Mulan. He was the head animator and designer for that character. And then we have comics great Aaron Lopresti did Zin. He modeled it after a, what is it, Mysteries? I forget what book it was based on, but it's a Bernie Wrightson cover. Mysteries in Science. I don't know what the comic book was, but he took it, based it kind of was inspired by a Bernie Wrightson cover. And so if you don't know, Aaron Lopresti is a big Bernie Wrightson fan. So here's the Carlo Barberi cover that we were talking about. So look at how amazing this is. Yeah, Carlo got it right off the bat. He got the character. I didn't give him much, but he got the attitude of the character. He knew he was a little bit of a priss, sharp dresser, and a little vain, so that that thing in his hand is a mirror. So he's a little in love with himself. So he likes to look at his own reflection, as it were. So yeah, there's a bunch of cool tiers here. So come by, check it out. Like I said, link is in the description. I'm going to come back. I think that, yeah, that should give you what I'm working on now. So what I'm really working on is I'm trying to get Black and White up and running for a second campaign. So we're calling it, actually, here's the book right here. I've been doing layouts. I'm about a third of the way done with the layouts. So here is, look at how graphic that is. Look at, so yeah, there's a bunch of pages. Just like I put them together as thumbnails, and I don't want to give away too much, but I'm 22 pages into the book being laid out, and the book is almost written, almost finished. So I'm working with somebody that I'm going to reveal very soon. That's my writing partner on this book, and when I announce him, you'll go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Philip, those were the widening gyre or gyre. I don't know how, some people say gyre, some people say gyre. Books. Okay, I can't resist. Adam Carolla has an interesting story regarding a failed collaboration with Kevin Smith. Exactly. I know the story you're talking about. Yeah, he just does. All right, I have a take on. Okay, we're going back on Kevin Smith. Okay, when I say he's good at protecting his brand, he was going to take the lead reins on a Green Hornet movie. This was before the one that came out some years back. I'm a big Green Hornet fan, always have been since I was a little kid. And so when I heard this, I didn't want Kevin Smith to do it. I don't really like his sensibilities. He's good on some things, but on others, not so much. And so he was going to write and direct it. So from what I understand, there was a script written, and I think it later became a book for Dynamite. I think he adapted it, or somebody adapted it into a comic book series. And so, yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. But when he backed out of it, he was like, I'm not going to direct anymore. I think it was also on the heat of he had just did a movie with Bruce Willis or something like that, and it tanked. So I always thought, like, you know, there's a little bit of a track record. There's like Superman he was going to do with, I think it was Tim Burton and Nicolas Cage. So this was like Kevin Smith's early comic book street cred was that movie. And so I'd never seen it before where a writer or whatever kind of spills the beans and throws directors or producers under the bus. But he did, and then I think he even put out his screenplay, so people could see it. And so he kind of got heralded as the film comic book guy. Like, he was the guy, because everything he was talking about Superman is like, I wouldn't do it this way, I would have done it this way, blah blah blah. So then he kind of became like a self-proclaimed expert on comics and film, how to adapt these movies and stuff like that, and all this stuff. So then he got a lot of street cred as far as the comic book community. I never thought it was earned. I have nothing against Kevin Smith, but I never thought it was earned. I thought his indie stuff was really interesting. It was fun. It was good for what it was. It never really resonated with me. It never truly connected with me. Also, I was a West Coast guy, and I think a lot of the humor is East Coast stuff. So there were things that I really couldn't relate to or get. And I'm talking mainly Clerks. Some of his, like Chasing Amy, I think is his best movie. But anyway, so over the years, I noticed that he did just enough to keep a street cred going. Like, he didn't do a lot, so he wasn't really a comic book guy, but he wasn't necessarily like a comic book film guy either. Like, he still made his indie films, and like Chasing Amy did have comic book aspects to it, things like that. But they were more like in that Kevin Smith kind of, like I said, like his IP within his brand. And so he didn't really veer too much from that. So smash cut to the Green Hornet stuff. So this was going to be an expensive film, like, I don't know, like close to $100,000 film, or 100 million, I should say, dollar film. So this was going to be the most expensive film he ever worked on. And all eyes were on it, right? Everybody was looking at it. Who's going to be the new Kato? How's he going to handle the Green Hornet? It's a big budgeted film, something he's never done before. And then it was like, is he going to be able to pull it off? This was the Hollywood, comic book guy that saw all the flaws in everything. Like, that's how he bases his whole thing, is like, he knew what was best for this. He knew how to do this, how to do that, right? So, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm not getting into details. And so then, when the Green Hornet thing, when he walked away from that, it made sense to me, because when he walked away from the Green Hornet, I felt like he chickened out. Like, it was too real for him. Because if you think about it, sometimes you can tarnish your brand with a failure. And especially if you pontificate too much in one area. Like, he wasn't the doer as much as he was like a guy that saw things. Like, comics are this, film is this. If they could get this right, then maybe you could make a good movie, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, self-proclaimed kind of expert at it. So then, this is going on. I'm sorry, you guys. I hope it's interesting. But then the Green Hornet thing happens. And then when he backed out of it, it made complete sense to me. Because if that wasn't a home run, if that was even lukewarm, had a lukewarm reception, his reputation would be shot. His IP as this comic book guy that was a Hollywood guy and knew how to do it, could make it work, didn't. Then all of a sudden, he doesn't have a career anymore. So if you look at everything he did after that, he retired from film. He said he's going to stop making movies. He started like podcasting. He started trying to do stuff with Adam Carolla, things like that. So he went in a different direction. But if you think about the direction, it's the Kevin Smith IP. It's the Kevin Smith show. That's it. So everything works within those confines. And so I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not making a judgment call at all. I'm just saying that's how he manages his career. That's his career. He's the brand. So he needs to always keep getting himself in, like, what was it, Fat Man, like his podcast and like those type things. He has to get himself in those type of situations, because it's safe for his brand. If Marvel called him tomorrow and says, we want you to direct the next Ant-Man, we think you'd be perfect. Write a script. We're going to give you $200 million to direct it. I don't think he'd do it, because he has a chance of destroying his house that he's built. So I don't think you're ever going to see that from him. And I think it was real clear for me with the Green Hornet thing. And for right or wrong, they made a Green Hornet. I think there's aspects of it that I absolutely enjoy. I, as a Green Hornet fan, I wanted more out of the film, but I thought it was okay for what it was. I could pull myself back from it and enjoy it. But yeah, that's kind of my thing. That's my take on Kevin Smith. Let me get this before I don't find it anymore. Southern Comic Geek for $2. I just ordered the $50 package. Hell to the yeah. Thank you so very much. And you did not have to super chat me to say that. Thank you, man. The book, let me go check real quick. Let me hit this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just hit refresh. We're at 55. We're at 50,515. Thank you so much. Yeah, the book will go out within the next couple weeks, and I think you'll have a ball reading it. I say that it's like no other. I don't think you're going to read a book like this. I think that the concept, the humor, the drawings, everything, it's fairly unique. And I told myself if I was going to do some self-publishing outside of, doing my Marvel DC stuff, I wanted to make sure that it didn't feel like anything else, that it was unique, that I had something to say. And I think Chrono Mechanics is that book. I'm very, very proud of it. So I'm glad you picked up a book. Thank you so much, Southern Comic Geek. Not only for the super chat, but for picking up the book. Let me see. LOL. No, I hadn't. EVS is getting lazy. I don't know what that means. I'll tell you right now, Ethan is not lazy. He is one of the most driven people I've ever seen. For as many years logged in, he is a hungry mofo, and I like that. I like that about him. Yeah, and let me see. Already a better preview than what EVS showed us. Of what? Wait a minute. Where are you guys at? Of warts and all. Oh, I see. I don't know. I've been in hiding in my exile for the last 2 weeks or so. Yeah, like I said, I didn't like the way he treated me. I wouldn't say that I dislike Kevin Smith. But he disrespected me in our working relationship. And for a guy that made a joke about the Just Trace books, I think he believes it. Because in a nutshell, I was hired on that Widening Gyre by Dan DiDio himself. So Dan knew, and most people know, that I can pencil, I can draw, and that I do finish work. A lot of stuff I've done, like big high profile stuff, has been me doing finishes, like over, what was his name? Dan Jurgens, even over Jim Lee and Will Spartaccio, I was doing finishes. So, and if you guys don't know what finishes are, it's when a penciler doesn't fully render the drawing. He just gives you kind of like the basic lines to draw, and then you have to put in light sources, hatching, details. So my reputation was that, and so I got hired because of that. So they were like, Walter Flanagan he's kind of a fan artist. He's not professional on any level. So they wanted me to polish it, to bring it up to a professional level. And so that's what I was brought in to do. And so Kevin and Walter wanted me to audition. I don't audition for work. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. And a lot of times people want you to audition for free. They want you to do a sample page. And I'm like, I got 30 something years in the industry. I think my reputation speaks for itself. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I don't feel the need to audition, right? And then they said, Kevin really wants, he knows that you can do all these things, but he really wants to see this. So they paid me a bunch of money. I'm not kidding. They paid me a bunch of money to do a sample. And so I did the sample, and Kevin, Walter, and DC signed off on it. So I'm thinking it's a done deal, right? So I start working on pages. I'm about a third of the way done with the first issue. And if you look at the first issue, it's out. You can start seeing the difference in the style. So I started going from less like full on, this is how I would do it. I would fix the anatomy. I would do this. I would do that. I stopped doing it because Kevin was like, we need, like, Walter's getting lost. We need to see more of Walter come through on the pencils. And that was very diplomatic. That was fine. So I started doing that. And so then later he was just like, stop bearing Walter. I told you, sir, to do this. Can you please, stop doing this, basically. And so I was like, okay. So then I just became a tracer. At that point, I just started going over the line, and they loved it. I don't know about DC, but Walter and Kevin did. And then it came time for the artwork. We were going to sell the artwork, right? So San Diego Comic-Con was coming on. We were going to do a big panel together, which we did. And I think I said one word, and I think Walter might have said one as well. Kevin just spoke the whole time. And so we were going to sell the original artwork there. We would have made a killing as well. Like all three of us, at a table selling artwork and stuff. It would have been the trifecta. If you were a fan of any one of us, you would definitely picked up a page and got it signed by all three of us. And so I was asking Paige, like, how would this work? I'm doing finishes. Is it a 50-50 split? How much for the pages and stuff like that? And Kevin just said, just send me the pages. We'll take care of it. And I said, I'm sorry. That's not how I work. I need to know some things. Like, this is my livelihood. I need to know some parameters before I send you all the pages. And so he just said, can't you just trust me for a minute? I told you everything would be fine. I would take care of it. I would handle it. Everything will be fine. And then he when he gets mad at you, he uses the word sir a lot. Like, listen, sir, I'll do what I said I would do, sir. That's how the emails were coming across. And so then I was just like, you're not cool right now, dude. This is not a way to handle it. Half that artwork is mine. I don't have to give it to you at all. If it makes good business sense, I'll do it and we'll work it out. But without prices on the page, without a clear understanding of what I'm getting into, I don't want to do it. And so he was just like being very persistent on it. So I believe I sent the artwork to him. And you know what happened? He didn't bring it to San Diego. We didn't sell not one page there. So I trusted him, sir. I brought the work. I did what he wanted me to do against my nature, my true, gut said, don't do it. And he screwed me. This is the longest dream ever. Yes, it is, because that's what happens when I get out and I just get diarrhea of the mouth, as they used to say. These are the real comic Artist Pro Secrets Dish the art, Dish Art Dish. That's basically it. Yeah. So like I said, like I never pearls before swine. Yeah, I don't want to turn this into like a hate stream or anything like that. But I think like what I started with was that some guys are just, it's their brand. And his brand is Kevin Smith. So Kevin is good at looking out after Kevin Smith. But that's it. He'll use you as he needs be. Like there's 3 issues that I have that there were supposed to be six books. So we got half. So the way it was supposed to be a 12 issue arc, right? The original Widening Gyre. So then Kevin, in his wisdom, and I think it was because he just wanted the book out and he just whatever. Like he just wanted to do whatever Kevin wants, Kevin gets, right? So he put out, we got the 6 books done. He put it out, and then they made a big announcement that now instead of 12 issues, it was going to be 6 and 6. So then months later, we started on the second half of the story. We got 3 issues into it, and then Kevin just stopped working on it. So then it stopped. Well, I got paid for those pages, but I didn't get any royalties. So if you guys don't know, when the book comes out, when it sells, a certain amount of that money comes back to the creator. So you get a percentage of the book sales. And so for somebody that's working on a high profile book with high profile creators, the royalties can be significant. They can be pretty good. So the way I look at it is, one, I never got to sell the original art pages. So those are still collecting dust in the archives, in the vault, like I told you earlier. But 2, I never got the royalties. So the artwork sells, I never got. And then the royalties I never got. So he ended up costing me money in the long run. So, it is what it is. So let's see, Spirits card. So Walt's a poser artist, just as Kevin Smith is a poser writer. I don't know. I think I remember right. I think it was his Daredevil run. Was it Joe Quesada was the penciler? I don't remember if I read the whole thing, but I remember liking it. So I did like some of Kevin Smith's writing. I don't remember reading a lot of it, but for me, his comic book work is like his film work. It's okay, and sometimes certain humor will catch you at a certain time, and you'll think it's funnier than others. But Chasing Amy, I think I've seen it twice, and it felt the same way to me. Maybe I was too old, and maybe it's a East Coast thing, but I didn't think it was that interesting or funny. Eric Von, is that Stugler? Stugel? I don't know how to say that. Did it take like 4 years for Kevin to finish that Black Cat miniseries for Marvel? Did he even finish it? Yeah, I don't know. I think he just kind of does whatever Kevin wants to do at the time. Kevin is a fake comic nerd to me, a fake person. You said it. I agree on some level. They're not German shepherds; they're small Texas deer. Okay. Man, I really touched a nerve with the Kevin stuff. Yeah, I think Kevin's good at taking care of Kevin. I think there are people like that. I think, like I said, Doug may be a person like that. I don't know him that well. Yeah, definitely. But sometimes, like, you just feel like you have to go with the flow. Yeah, exactly, Jam Creates. I agree. I'll read this out loud. I'm sorry, I read it to myself. I feel like people expect artists to not understand business, and when they do, they get pissed. Yeah. When you come at them and set parameters, like business parameters, yeah, they don't. Some people don't like it. Some people are like, yeah, they want, like, I want things to be on some level. I want there to be an understanding, and I want there to be an agreement, like a business agreement up front. I don't know. Is Kevin friends with Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm? I don't know, but I don't think you're ever going to see a high profile anything from Kevin Smith. He might write like a Star Wars comic, or like he might be part of like a Mandalorian type situation where he does one episode, but I don't think he's going to ever do anything really high profile. Art looking like a thug. Yeah, I got my big old stick here. I'm gonna pop you with it. I wouldn't do that. Art's been to the Mayan School of Business Models. Oh, that's right. He wears my wife calls this a toboggan. I call it a beanie. It must be an East West Coast thing. Yeah, I don't know what they call them. You guys are on fire with the Kevin. Kevin Smith is a chief SJW within comics and commentary, and he has or was supposed to be the anti-religious one. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was anti-religion. Yeah, I saw somebody talking about Howard Stern. Where's this Howard Stern? Bob Gable says, I used to like Howard Stern. I only listened to Howard Stern when it was free on the radio. Once he got his podcast and his streaming, I didn't listen to any of that stuff. So I don't know if how much the tone changed or anything like that. SDA says, hi, Artie Bear. How are you, my friend? Wasn't Kevin Smith doing some He-Man show for Net? Oh, that's right. And that was really woke, right? Did it ever come out, or was that just pitched? Yeah, he got some flack for that. Yeah, he either became woke or was always woke. I don't know. I think sometimes these guys just jump on bandwagons just so they can either seem relevant or can keep the people that will hire them like in their sights. So it's like if I'm like you, then you'll like me, and then you'll give me work or opportunity. I'm kind of past that phase in my career, at least as long as you guys keep supporting me and keep picking up my indie IPs like Chrono Mechanics and soon Black and White Volume 2. That's where I'm at right now, and that's where my heart's at. And pretty much I'm putting all the eggs in one basket, which I've never ever done before in my career. No, I'll take that back. After my daughter was born and I left Image Comics to go to Marvel Comics, I did tie my horse, as it were, to the Marvel stable, and that's when they burned me. It was like a few years into it, but that's when I got fired and told I would never work there again. And I didn't have a plan B. I was really thinking I was going to retire at Marvel. That was my plan, that I would stay on Ultimates. I would look for other work if that went awry, like at Marvel. But it was pretty much like I was going to work at Marvel until I retired. That was my plan, so I could take care of my family, stuff like that. And then, yeah, what happened. If you go back in my history, I did a whole video on that, so you can check that out. I didn't cry in it. I came close though. Yeah, but right now I think this is it, man. I think Comicsgate, you guys in the chat putting out these independent books, from the heart. Like a lot of like Black and White and Chrono Mechanics, these aren't fly by night concepts, you guys. I've been trying to get this stuff going for 25 years, Black and White for 25 years, Chrono Mechanics for 15 years. So I've come out with books here and there, but never been able to sustain it just because there hasn't been an industry that supported it. But now with Comicsgate and all the support that you guys and the other creators are providing, it looks amazing. It looks like, the next 10 years, this is where it's going to be at. I always go in 10-year increments, so I think like the next 10 years is going to be it. It's going to be Comicsgate. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It's getting dark in the room, so I've obviously talked for a long time. I do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun reconnecting with you guys. Thank you so much for all the super chats. Thanks for all the welcome back. It makes me feel like I'm on the right track. So I do appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys for all the support. Always, always, always. Let's see what Johnny Randa says. See if this is a good parting shot. Hope to see some T-Bear variants in Comicsgate books. I did some artwork for John Malin that's on the QT. So just know that. So it's in the archives right now, and whenever John wants to unleash it on the world, he will do so. But I do want to get into some. There's some cool concepts out there that I would love to put my stamp on it. Mark my territory. Nah, just put my stamp on it. A lot of cool creations. All right, so that was a good one to go out on. You guys take it easy. Have fun. Have a good evening. 2021 is going to be big for me and Hack Shack Studios. So you guys stay tuned. As always, some big announcements. And Black and White Volume 2 is going to be out relatively soon. Once I get back in the saddle, as it were, here, I'll have a better idea of ETA for everything. Because there's still some stuff in the house that aren't taken care of. Just as far as electricity, plumbing, just stuff. But I got my internet now, so that's a big start. So thanks again, you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.